east tree line. There should be one more. Nice,
Sounds like
good
that was
kill.
I did something good.
What heli carries the most supplies?
Got another one, boss.
Okay, go, 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 go.
We're moving.
Yo, Janko. You can release it.
Welcome back to another video. It's your boy Beef Tip. Which one should you buy? ARMA Reforger or ARMA 3? There are definitely some differences between the two, especially in terms of accessibility or how quick you can kind of just jump into one and play the learning curve, if you will. So this is going to be a short video, I guess, as far as how much you really can break down about these games, because there's a lot. So I'm only doing 3 categories. By no means am I a pro at this game. I'll say I'm a veteran from knowing it and understanding it. You could say I've been playing since ARMA 2, which is where DayZ comes from. It was originally a mod before it was a standalone game, but that's neither here nor there. Anyways, I'm pretty much a noob as well, so think of this video as coming from that perspective. Another reason why I'm only going to have 3 categories, and those categories will be accessibility, gameplay, and content and longevity. So let's start with accessibility. So we're going to break this down between installation and setup requirements, basically tutorials and training that you can do within the game, and then also the controls, key bindings, and then the clarity of the UI itself. How the fuck do you play the game? You're going to definitely wonder how you do that. So ARMA 3 is older. It's obviously not going to be as graphically demanding as Reforger, and you'll need a lot less hard drive space for Reforger for the install. ARMA 3 is a beefy boy. There's a lot more content there, which is category 3, so that's part of why you'll need more space there. But as far as installing the game, obviously that's pretty simple. We all know how to do that. When you check into the game, I highly recommend doing boot camp for ARMA 3, and definitely training for Reforger too if you're just kind of jumping back in, or if you've never played before. Now the learning curve with ARMA 3 is a lot more steep to me, but the community online, I'd say, I mean, there's some bad apples everywhere, but people can be pretty helpful when you play online. I got stuck in a helicopter and I mean, the pilot was like, get the fuck out, and the same button didn't get me out that got me in. It was really stupid, but anyways, they just helped me get out. Nobody called me a dumbass, and yeah, we just played the game.
Get off the chopper. Jump. Double tap V.
Now there are a lot of controls in both of these games, but ARMA 3 is a bit older, so I feel like it's a bit more wonky using some of the things, like if you have 2 optical options on your gun, basically. I think it's like left control, and I binded mine to the middle mouse button. I don't know what it was at first, but I don't know, it's just fucking weird changing the key bindings, and it's just kind of more of a pain in the ass than it is in Reforger. With Reforger, some of the bindings, the way it comes out of the box or out of the download, however you want to put it, out of the installation, it's fine. Like, it's just fine how it is. You can just kind of jump in and use it that way. And this is primarily because of just the way the UI with Reforger is. Usually in the bottom left hand corner, you can usually see which keys you need to press to do an action, not just the action or an icon for it comes up. And it does frequently display hints unless you hide them. You don't really have that luxury in ARMA 3 at all. You kind of just get thrown to the wolves. And old school, if you don't know what the fuck you're doing, you press pause like y'all saw me do earlier in this video, and you find out which key to press, or you bind it yourself. The good thing about it though is there is a field manual in both games. I know that sounds crazy, right? Like, yo, Beef Tip, I gotta read a fucking field manual to play the game. Yes, you kind of have to read a field manual to play the game. This is more so true for ARMA 3 than it is for Reforger. With Reforger, you really can kind of just jump in and start playing and learn as you go. But when you join a server online, there are some long ass queues for some, and then when you download the mods, it can take quite a while to actually join in the game, and you can read the field manual while you wait. I'm not saying like that's enticing or anything, but as far as it goes for Reforger, it is still helpful, and you're gonna have nothing but time to, at least until you get your mods downloaded, to read it in the first place. I think you will literally need it in ARMA 3 though, as a new player, period. You will need to refer back to it and refer back to key bindings, or either ask people through comms how to do shit, and they'll help you. They will help you do it, at least in ARMA 3. They will. So far, I haven't had anything too crazy happen in Reforger, but I mean, yeah, just some like racist people and shit, but that's it. Alright, goddamn. My bad, that was like 7 minutes on one category, so the video is probably not going to be as short as I thought. But the next section, what most people probably came here for anyways, is gameplay.
Yeah, just shoot at the dude to distract him. Don't actually kill him yet.
Man down, man
Where
down,
do you
man
snipe from?
down.
Good. You flew directly for them, maybe 50 yards more north. Roger. Got one.
Oh wow, look at this fucking game. This is dope. So in this category, what we're going to be analyzing is going to be mainly gunplay and movement, how the AI behaves, and the pacing of the combat between the two games, because they are very different, I would say. So for gunplay and movement, I would say hands down, Reforger is definitely going to have the better gunplay. I would say the combat is more infantry based. There are vehicles in both games. A lot of people say the map is a lot bigger on ARMA 3, which it does seem that way. And navigation is a lot harder on ARMA 3 rather than Reforger anyways. Mods can kind of change things like that, but just vanilla both games, ARMA 3 is going to be harder to jump into with that. As far as the movement, I don't even know how to vault myself on ARMA 3. I saw somebody do it, but it's pretty easy to vault. On Reforger, you just hit space like you would expect. Things like using your secondary optics and things like that, it's, like I said, it's usually in the bottom left, but the animations and everything are much more fluid because it is a much newer game running on a different engine. With that being said though, the gunplay in ARMA 3 is still very good, and I think it's adequate for an FPS game even today in 2026. So if you are looking for, I guess, a more vast battlefield, and I mean, if you really want to delve into milsim, ARMA 3 is definitely going to be less casual, you can say, although neither one of them really are in comparison to games like Battlefield, or I guess, what's that fucking other one? Strike Force, Delta Force, yeah, shit like that. But with that being said though, if you are a player of those more casual games that I guess some would say are milsim if they've never really played a milsim game, Reforger is going to be closer to that than ARMA 3, hence the fact that it is also cross-play. It is on Xbox and PlayStation as well, just like Hell Let Loose. So I would say it's more similar to that. If you can play Hell Let Loose, you can probably play Reforger with a little practice.
Ouais, laisse-le, laisse-le. J'ai quand même pas
Allez là, l'équipe avec moi sur la montagne, on bouge.
On y
Regarde,
va
parce
cadeau,
que
tu
les
crois?
alignés au fond là-bas là.
Ok, faut que tu me guides.
So when you are playing single player on either game and doing missions and scenarios, the AI is pretty good on ARMA 3. The game can get difficult, I would say. I don't know if it scales up, basically if it's co-op or not, but I know Reforger does do that. Reforger, in my opinion, is relentless. It was incredibly difficult for me. I got some gameplay of that to kind of put that in perspective. This one commie soldier just fucking locked in on Reforger. There he goes. So the thing about stealth on both of these games too is it's not going to be like other games if that's what you're used to. Like you can see them and they should be able to see you, but you're like too far as like detection distance, I guess. So like it's kind of dumb. Like they should see you, but they don't see that far. So anyways, you get it. You play Far Cry and stuff like that. In this game, like, oh, they see you. They can fucking see you if you're not in grass or something, and they still might see you in that if you're moving too much. This dude fucking locked in, bro. Like, I was on the top of this old structure, this old mining structure, and I guess I was moving around up there, and he like fucking looked up, then he checked. Like, it was like a horror game, bro. It's crazy.
Shit. We're blown. Find the radio. Hurry.
Now for combat pacing, I think Reforger is much more fast-paced, even in multiplayer, but especially when it comes down to the AI behavior in both games. Obviously, the newer game's probably going to be more advanced, but the way that you can be flanked, the way that they check your last known position, radio in to their teammates, it's actually pretty annoying because it's realistic, and I don't know when they let up because it seems like they look for you forever. ARMA 3, you can kind of just mow people down, or it seems like they'll just sit at a central location sometimes or hover around the same areas and eventually kind of just like sitting there like an idiot and you can just kill them. But that is AI behavior. Online, obviously you're playing against real people, and we talked about the differences in the map as well. So the combat pacing is slower there for that reason, as well as just the nature of the game itself and accessibility. You're probably going to get into shit a lot quicker in Reforger when you play that versus you just kind of jumping into an ARMA 3 server, depending on how it's modded. Some ARMA 3 servers you just kind of get into shit quick, but
I'm back around for another one.
so last but not least, content and then the replayability of both games. This one was a little 50-50 for me, but in my opinion, I'd probably give it to ARMA 3 here just because of the community. For example, in ARMA 3, many of the pilots that are transferring you from main base or transporting you from main base, they'll often play music in their mics.
The pressure got to me, fucking. Yeah. I'm used to that.
Hello guys.
for everybody on the transport vehicle to listen to. So I don't know, it's just pretty immersive. It's not a huge thing, but it's cool. It says a lot about the community. And there's a lot more content too, because ARMA 3 is obviously the older game. It has more mods that have been developed for it. That doesn't necessarily mean you'll have more fun. I think that kind of depends on you. But as far as content, ARMA 3 definitely wins there. Now the replayability side is a little different depending on you. For me personally, I've actually been playing ARMA 3 more than Reforger. I have a little over 21 hours with 3 and then about 10 hours or 9 or 10 with Reforger. I would personally recommend both games. Actually, I mean, they're both pretty cheap. One was on sale when I bought it, so it might have changed, but for the most part, if you purchase both games, you won't regret it. But I have spent more time on ARMA 3, more so because of the immersion, the communication, and I mean probably the content. It's an older game. They both do have destructible environments, but there's just a lot more going on in ARMA 3 as far as mods go, and it makes the game more fun to play. And one con to Reforger for many people that I want to mention once again is it is crossplay. You are not playing with only PC players. Some people don't like that because they think console players are dumb and don't communicate. But in terms of gameplay, gunplay mainly, graphics especially, I mean, Reforger's going to win hands down there. It's a personal preference, really, at the end of the day, which is why I do recommend you try both games. You're not really going to be out of a ton of money by buying both of them anyways, so why not give it a shot? I don't think you'd regret Reforger, but you would possibly regret ARMA 3 if you've never played like an ARMA game at all, and you decide, okay, I'm going to get ARMA 3 because people say that's the more legit milsim game. Like, no, you're probably going to be like, what the fuck? Because you'll see people probably having more fun on Reforger because of the accessibility. And don't get me wrong, it has a handful of mods too. So for gunplay, graphics, controls, and UI being accessible and new user friendly, I definitely would recommend Reforger. But as far as if you're a veteran, if you know how to play milsim games and you're wanting to dive into an immersive and vast milsim experience with a bunch of mods and content and shit, that's probably going to be ARMA 3. So do what you will with that. When I got ARMA 3, I've had it for years. I just never played it. I think it was like 24 bucks. It's probably still 24 bucks now. Reforger was on sale for 30 bucks. So I think right now you'll still be under $40 for both games unless that changed. Y'all can check that. Don't shoot the messenger. Appreciate y'all for watching. If you like the video, I'll be making more ARMA content for sure. If you don't like the video, I guess comment that you didn't like the video, and I'll tell you to fuck off if it's not reasonable critique or constructive criticism. Thanks. Bye.